All right, today we got a factory Ford Explorer 302 roller cam in the grinder, and we're gonna do a little regrind on it. I have done some Mustangs, but I haven't done one of these, but hang loose and I will talk about it. All right, so this cam from the factory it's really small. It's 184 degrees on the at 50. It's 184 degrees on the intake and 192 degrees on the exhaust. And it's only 237 lobe lift on the intake and 246 on the exhaust. That is like ultra small. I mean, most stuff is 270, 280 lobe lift. Even 300 lobe lift is really common. So it's just like, it's really small. And I don't know, so on this deal, I think we're gonna do like a 210 on the intake and a 217 on the exhaust. And both of them are 300 lobe lift. And that's the smallest lobes I have in that lobe lift. So I hadn't tried it yet. I don't know what it's gonna do, but right now it is the heel to toe measurement is 1:719. So we're gonna see how much we reduce it when it cleans up, and then I can make a determination, if it's gonna be okay or not. But I think there's plenty of heat treat. The lobe is pretty big and the heat treat is pretty deep. And it's got plenty of base circle diameter. So, I mean, it may be fine, but again, this is the first one I've ever done that's that small. So we'll see what happens together. So I've already indicated the number one lobe in, so it should be good and centered if my math is right. And we got it on number one. So let's see what happens. And we're just doing a roughing cycle right now. I got the stone dressed course because I feel like it's going to take a little bit to do what we got to do. Oh, and I didn't say it. So most of you, like your Mustangs and stuff, they were ground on a 112. I think that's right, a 112 or a 113. These Explorer cams are ground on 107 lobe separation. So that is one good thing. Even though the duration is really small, if there's enough material here to do what we need to do, it's going to be good, because the duration that we're going to grind on it is still relatively small, and the lobe separation is pretty tight, so it'll make a good little torquey cam. I mean, obviously there's probably not enough material there to make a 220, 230, I mean, you're not going to be able to do that, but you could make a nice little, street cam that would run really good. Because we've been doing some mild testing, and we're going to do some more stuff on the dyno as time allows. But we've been testing a lot of this smaller duration stuff with a real tight lobe separation, and it's not actually the lobe separation number that's doing it, it's the opening and closing events that equals the outcome. And a lot of people get stuck on lobe separation, but it's just a number. And it works really well. Small duration stuff with a tight lobe separation. And you don't need, when the duration's real small, generally speaking, you don't need to grind a bunch of advance in it. Most of the time we don't grind any advance in, because we're trying to move that power up the line anyway, so you just don't need a lot of advance. Yeah, so I mean, we're still working on the base circle. It's starting to come up the flank pretty good, but we still on the base circle. But I'm interested how much we're gonna take off of it total to get there. And it should equal out relatively the same on the intake and exhaust, because the duration is really close and the lobe lift is the same on the intake and exhaust on what we're doing. Yep, she's getting close. Yeah, and you can see, I think can you see? Get on in there real close. It's just about to get up there to the nose radius. It's actually, yeah, I'd say it's pretty much on the nose radius. So it don't like much here, and it'll be cleaned up. All right, so right there, it just cleaned up the nose. So ultimately, we were able to regrind that lobe, and we never moved the top of it. The top of that lobe is in the exact same place that it was to start with. So the only thing we did was reduce the base circle to accommodate the extra lobe lift that we're putting in it. So as long as we don't move the top, you know, everybody's in the same place, and the base circle came up relative to its lobe lift as it would if this was a brand new cord that had never been ground. So let's just see what it changed it to. So that's basically 630. So that's 90 thousandths heel to toe. So basically, I'd have to do a little bit of math, but we changed the base circle about 50, probably 40 or 50, which is not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. I mean, I can still see the heat treat line, so, you know, that's fine. So it'll work. The answer is it'll work. So if you have any of these Explorer cams and you want one reground, for sure we can do like a, whatever that is, 210, 217, and it's on 107, so we'll leave it on 107, well, because you can't really change that anyway. And the intake center line is ultimately 107, so there's no advance in the cam. So I think that'll work good. And what is 300 lobe lift? Let me see. So that's 480 at the valve with a 1.6 rocker. So that cam would be 480 lift at the valve. I mean, I think that's pretty good. So it'd make a good little street cam, you know, something that you're trying to do economically. It's only 170 plus the return shipping, and usually that's like 10 or 15 bucks to ship them back. So I thought that'd be interesting, and because I get a lot of calls on this Ford stuff sometimes. So there it is. We appreciate you. See you on the next one.